So how do we go about the ERD? Okay, first create columns, nouns, and maybe verbs. Okay, nouns can be either entity or attributes. Okay, verbs could be relation. Okay, so let's start with that basic idea. A database is to be designed for a college. So shall I put a database here, or this is a generic information?
It's generic.
So we'll leave it, okay? To be designed, again, designed is a verb, but it's just describing what we need to do. It has nothing to do with ERD. For a college, what about college? Shall I put it in?
Yeah.
Because now it's telling me what I need to make, no? To monitor. So verb is, let's put it this way. Okay, monitor. Let's just keep it simple. I don't know if this explanation will work, but let's try a different approach. To monitor students. Let's put a student here, right? Students. Progress throughout their course of study. Course of study, shall I put that, or it's just telling us that they are studying, no? Students.
Course.
Already. No, but this is a course of study as in a semester, yeah? Well, if you want, I can mention course, and I will explain why we will need it later, okay? The students are reading for a degree. So reading, right? This one is what? Degree, all right? The degree are one of those. These are just a list of enumeration. So I'm just gonna put this into here. MBA, these are just examples, no? BA, MS, whatever. Within the framework of the modular system. You could put framework, but we do know that framework is a generic word, modular, okay? Modular system, okay? The college, we mentioned, the college provides a number of modules. Provide. What does it provide? A module. Each being characterized by its code, title, and credit. Now, this is where the attributes come into place. If I have a noun that is expanded by other nouns, that noun becomes an entity, okay? And the rest of the nouns that comes after it becomes an attribute. But I'm just gonna mention it for now. So modules, what do we have under modules? We have code, title, credit, value, okay? I'm gonna put a note here describing modules so that I know when I look back at this, I know that these are attributes of the modules, okay? And the module leader. So we have module leader, that's an entity. A teaching staff, that's another one. Department they come from, department, okay? So we're just listing the nouns for the sake of explanation. A module is mentioned already. Coordinated is a verb, so I'm just gonna put it here, coordinated. By a module leader, we have it here already, right? Each who shares teaching duties with one or more lecturers. So we have something new called a lecturer. Okay, you could put share here, that's okay. Share teaching, okay. A lecturer may teach, so that's a verb, teach. And or be a module leader. Module leader is here already. For more than one module, we mentioned the module students. We mentioned students. are free to choose any module. So choose, right? What are they choosing? Module, which is here already. They wish, but the following rules must be observed. Some modules require prerequisite. So one is require, right? And then prerequisite is a noun, prerequisite, okay? And some degree program, we have a degree here, is the same thing, yeah? But I will write it and then explain that it's the same thing later. Degree program would have compulsory modules, okay? The database is also to contain some information about the students, including their number. Again, so this is the part where I'm explaining something, right? Like here, we explain the module, no? So I highlight this, make it bold to say this is an entity because I had explanation. Then I will highlight this to say this is an entity because it is followed by an explanation, okay? What are those explanations? It's called, where I was, ID, number, name, address, and degree. The degree here is this degree, no? So I'm not gonna touch it, okay? They read for. So this one are there. And their past performances. So I'm gonna put past performances here because that's new, past performances, okay? What are the past performances? Now this is explaining what is the past performance. Modules taken. So here we say modules taken. And exam result, okay? So basically what we did is just listed all the nouns and all the verbs. Now what we need to do is to find out what are the ones that goes into entity, what are the ones that goes into attribute, and this verbs goes between which two entities, okay? So what about college? Did I have anything with regards to college after the first time it was mentioned? No, right? I never use this again. So I'm gonna put this as red, as in maybe I should not use it. A student, we know that it's explained by these elements, no? So I'm gonna make this blue. At any point, if you feel like I'm going too fast, let me know, okay? So this is blue that goes with the student, right? Do I have course mentioned anywhere again? No, it's not mentioned, it's not described, it's not mentioned as with a verb, right? So basically this course here is the same as module, roughly, no? Because if you say I
Yeah.
enrolled in CSIT115, CSIT115 could be referred as a course, a module, or a subject. All three names are referring to the same thing. So this and this are the same thing. So I'm gonna make this purple, make this purple, yeah? And at some point we had an explanation. That is the purple explanation of the module, no? So let's put that there. Now this part was part of the explanation of the module. Shall I put it as part of the module? Let's go for that initially, okay? Then we see what we can do about it. Let's leave that for now, okay? So degree, is that an entity or an attribute?
It's
Now,
an
when there
entity.
isn't much mentioned, see if there is a verb that comes after it, okay? Here, a degree program have a compulsory module. Since it has a verb, that means it is involved in a relation, and only entity can be involved in a relation, right? So this becomes an entity. Let's put that around, okay? And what are those? Those are degree names, no? This is an example of a name. It did not say a degree has a name, but with an example, we know that a degree has a name. So I convert this into degree name, okay? The word framework, it didn't have any explanation. It didn't have any relation. So red, we do not use it. Modular system, it's just an explanation of the database, no? We
I
didn't have
couldn't hear
anything
you. Can
else
you
to do
please
with it.
repeat what you said
Which
about
part?
framework? The framework part.
So the framework, how many times I mentioned the framework? Once, no? Did I explain it with other words? Like a framework is characterized by a framework ID? No.
No.
Do I have it followed by a verb, like a framework has a degree? No. So it's not involved in a relation. It's not described at all. Then it's something that is generic. I do not use it. Okay? The same goes with a modular system. A modular system is just a system. It doesn't have any relation. It doesn't have any explanation as an attribute. So I'm going to put that as red because it's not important. It's just explaining something to me. Module we have, module leader. Okay. Now here is the question. Who is a module leader? Should I put module leader as part of a module, or module leader as described here is one of the teaching staff? No?
I think you should put module leader as part of module.
Okay, let's put that there and then we'll come back to that. Okay. So I'm gonna put, which one was that? Module leader as part of the module. What about teaching staff?
Teaching staff should be part of course, right?
Which is a module, you mean, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What about the department? Now here is where the trick comes, okay? You say teaching staff is an attribute of a module, right? But here it's saying that the teacher has a department. The department they come from is an explanation of a teaching staff, no?
Oh, yeah.
The department they come from means the department that the teaching staff is coming from, right? So now this teaching staff has its own attribute, no? Which is the department. Since this is explained by some other attribute, it cannot be an attribute. It has to be an entity because only entity can be explained by another attribute. It makes sense or no?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay, so I'm gonna make this, did I use orange? So this one, an explanation of the teaching staff, I'm gonna make it orange. What about the lecturer? Isn't the lecturer one of the teaching staff as the explanation goes?
Yeah, it is.
But it has different roles, no? The lecturer is teaching. Now, even here, if we go back to the module leader, why wouldn't I put it as an attribute? Because module leader has a verb associated with it. It says the module leader is coordinating, no? Here, a module is coordinated by module leader. So module leader has a verb associated with it. Since I have a verb associated with something I thought it's an attribute, it becomes an entity because only entity can be in a relation. Isn't it? Is it confusing?
That part was a bit confusing, yeah.
Okay. Remember what we said. If we consider something to be an attribute, how do we know it's not an attribute? One is when it is explained further with another attribute, like the teaching staff, right? It says the teaching staff and the department they come from. So department is part of the explanation of a teaching staff. So now since teaching staff has further explanation, it cannot be an attribute. An attribute cannot be further explained with another attribute, okay? if another attribute is used to explain an attribute, the second one has to become an entity, like what we did with the teaching staff, okay? Now, the second rule is if what I thought is an attribute is involved in a relation. What does it mean? It means it comes before or after a verb, okay? Then it's not an entity because entity cannot be it cannot be an attribute because attribute cannot be in a relation. Only entity can be in a relation. Now we say module leader is an attribute, but if I read here, it say module is coordinated, which is a verb, that means it's a relation, by a module leader. So this leader is part of a relation. It's involved in a relation. It has a verb before it. So it cannot be an attribute anymore. Was that clear now?
Yeah, so it becomes like an entity. So now we know it's
Exactly.
an entity.
So remember, if there is an attribute describing something, then what is being described becomes an entity, okay? If an attribute has a verb before or after it, which is a relation, then that becomes an entity because attributes cannot be described and they cannot be in a relation, okay? So we convert this into green maybe, okay? Lecturer as well, because it says the lecturer. Is a lecturer an attribute or an attribute or an entity? What do you think?
I think lecturer is an entity because it's, sorry, not an entity, it's an attribute because it's not explained further and it would
Read
just
this
be part
line.
of teaching stuff.
Read this line. It says a lecturer shares something, no? The teaching duties. So it has a relation, no?
With the module leader, so it would be a different entity.
Exactly. Okay. So we keep that as an entity for now, okay? But I will show you that how things will change later. Okay. Prerequisite, what is that? Is that an entity or an attribute? It says some module has prerequisite.
It's a relationship, right?
Well,
Or they have a relationship with modules.
it's what is a
So
prerequisite? Like in normal life, one module is a prerequisite for another module, right?
it's needed for you to complete the other module.
Yeah, I think the prerequisite should come here. Actually, you're right. Okay, has prerequisite like that. It's a verb actually. Okay. Then past performance, what is that? Is that an attribute or an entity? This one is pretty straightforward now.
Attribute?
Read this part.
Yeah, it should be an attribute of module, right?
Mm-mm.
It wouldn't?
It's explained, no? It has modules taken and the examination result. These two are explanation of the past performance, no? The past performance belongs to one of the modules and it has examination result. Okay? If you want, we'll keep it as an attribute and I'll show you why it does not fit there. Okay? So let's put that as a part of that. Modules taken. Is that anything?
Modules taken and exam results would both be attributes of past performance.
Now you get it, okay? Very
Yeah.
good. Did you get it or you just said it to make me happy?
No, because I understood. I didn't read the line before. When I read
Yeah.
it, I
Okay,
understood
so you
that
need
there's
to
an
be
explanation for it.
you need to read the explanation couple of times to find where what goes where, okay? Now we know our attributes, we know our entities. Let's link them with the verbs, okay? Monitor. What does it say about monitor? Let's look for Control F. Monitor, because I don't know where was that. Did it go? Okay. Monitor, college monitors student. I don't think that does anything, no, because we didn't consider college as anything. Okay, you could put it, but it doesn't make sense. Okay, so I'll put it if you want, then I'll. So let's say here we have monitor is between which and which, between college and a student. Okay, this is how I would go ahead with the verbs. Okay, reading. What the reading comes from. Let's say a student are reading into a degree. So reading has which two elements? It has a student and a degree. Okay. Provide. What is provided? A college provide number of modules. Okay. Provide as college and module. Then we have each being characterized by this. Okay, leave that. Coordinated. Who is coordinating what? I'm gonna go a little fast now. We know that this is between the module and module leader, right? Teaching and teach are the same. Okay, so I'm consider teach as one. Who is teaching what? Teaching, actually it's a lecturer, no? Lecturer, and they are teaching modules. Choose, what is the choose? What is that? Students are free to choose any module. So choose is between a student and module. Require is what? Let's see. Some module require prerequisite. So between module and prerequisite. Require is between module and prereq module. Maybe that's why I put the other one there. Okay, so let's put this back here. Okay. Have, what is this have for? It says a degree program have compulsory module. Have is between program and module. Yeah. Okay. Are we okay this until this part? Yeah. Now we
Yes.
copy this and we convert this into ERD. I don't know if I can copy text. Create. Delete. Delete. I'm gonna add a text here. Copy this one in there so we can have it as a reference. Okay. Right there. Oops. What happened? I'm gonna do this just to have less space. Why? became so weird. Okay, it's just a reference, so we'll keep it there for now. Okay. Now, when you start drawing, you need to base it on the part when you're doing the relations, yeah? So we start, sorry, this is another note. We start from here, okay? So the college here, yeah? And the degree programs right there, you can consider them the same thing because everything that happens in a college is happening for a degree. A student enrolls in a degree, yeah? Actually, it's the degree that offers the module, no? Do you agree? So I can either use the word degree or college, okay? But since degree program has more relation, I'll choose the degree program, okay? So let's do degree program. That is my first entity. I'm gonna keep it simple. So I don't have to, was it this one? No, or this one, okay. So I say degree or college, okay, whichever you wanna call it. What does this have? It has degree name, no? You remember MBA, BBA, whatever, yeah? So that's all it has. The relation is between
So,
degree.
Miss, I have one question.
Yeah.
We only give these entities the attributes that are mentioned. Like we don't use our common sense and add
No,
those.
sometimes, like when it doesn't have anything, you do mention it. So you could come here and say, so degree has a name, degree has maybe tuition fee. It's not mentioned, no? But you want to mention it. That's okay. Yeah? So if you know the domain a little bit, you can add what you want. So that's okay. All right. So it's between the degree or college and a student. So I need another one for a student. Okay. Here is my student. Now, do I have an explanation for a student? Yeah, it has ID, name, and address. So STU ID, it has a name, and it has an address, no? Now, what is the relation between a student and the college? Yeah, like these two basically are the same relation, okay? So we're gonna use this one. It reads into, so the relation is reads. I think I can just say reads, okay? Into reads 4, I think, no? Okay, so this is the first relation we created based on this, okay? Now, provide, so again, since I said college and degree are the same, so I'm gonna convert the college into degree and say degree is providing a module. So we put the module here, right? There, let's put it here. Module. Do I have explanation for a module? Yeah, the module has, where did it go? Has a code, title, and credit value. So let's put that in. It has code, title, and credit value, okay? And what's the relation we're capturing? That college or the degree provides module. So I'm gonna just do the same thing again. I'm just gonna call it provides, provide, okay? If at any point you feel I'm going fast, let me know. What I'm doing is I'm just converting the relations that I extracted into boxes, okay? Coordinate, module, and module leader. Okay, so I will do this, then I will show you why we will convert this, okay? Module leader. How is it described? It's not described, but we know that this guy would have a name, no? And this guy would have an email. So I'm going to describe it with a name and the email, okay? So this guy is, what is this guy doing? What's the relation? Coordinate, no? Coordinate, okay? Now, a module leader, a lecturer teaches a module. So I'm going to put a lecturer here, which has the same attributes. Okay. Lecturer has a name. And then the relation goes like lecturer teaches. Okay. Where were we? Teaches. Okay. A student chooses a module. So I have the student, I have the module. I'm just going to add the relation only. Okay. Choose. You can change the name based on what you want. Okay. But this is just to capture the exact same explanation. A module requires a prerequisite module. What is the prerequisite module? It's another module, no? So one way to show what is a recursive relation is basically there is a relation between one entity and itself, right? So this module is prerequisite. Prerequisite, no? Now, instead of copying this twice in the entity relation diagram, because I have it once, I do not draw it twice. I will just say, put this back somewhere here. Okay, that's a very bad drawing. Let's just keep it simple, okay, and not worry about how this is looking, okay? So you see how I converted something into recursive? If you're mentioning this twice, instead of copy pasting and creating a relation between one entity and itself, you just put the relation like that. It means this entity has a relation with itself, okay? Was that clear?
Yeah, miss. Can you just give another example of this kind of relationship?
For
Like,
example, if I have an employee supervising another employee, okay? Or in your explanation in the second task, it says a referee is supervising some referees. What did I do? Okay. So I'm gonna take this out, okay? So if the explanation, for example, say we have, let's say we have authors, okay? Author has a name, has an email, has, I don't know, they live in here, okay? Then I say some authors are editors for some other authors, okay? So, or some of the authors are editors for the other authors. What we do, let's say supervise, that's better, okay? Some authors are supervising other authors. So basically the relation is between the author and the author itself, yeah? And that relation is called supervise, okay? Supervise. If I have this entity having a relation with itself, instead of drawing another entity, I would delete that and put this one. I'll try to do it right this time. I don't think I can successfully do that, but don't worry about how this is looking like, okay? So it's like that, or between employee. Yeah, some employees are managing. All right. So let's have this explanation. Let me remove this. It says some employees report to their managers. Okay, some employees report to their managers. Now here I'm not mentioning employee again. I'm saying employee reports to a manager. But who is a manager? Who is a
The
manager?
employee himself.
It's another employee, no? So instead of saying employee, which is the same entity, right? Like that. Report, right? So this employee, the description of the entity is the exact same description of this entity. So why should I repeat it twice if it's the exact same description? I'm gonna delete this and say, this guy has a relation to itself. Okay, makes sense now?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay, so that's the prerequisite. A program, here, a program have compulsory module. What do we do with this? What is a compulsory module? A compulsory module is a module, no? Isn't it? A
Yeah.
compulsory module is a module, right? And a degree or a program is the same. Now, this one, I will give you some example, okay? Let me put a text here and say, so we have CSIT115. It's a compulsory module for computer science, okay? Right? Then we have, I think I should do shift enter. BOS 111. It's a compulsory module for business, okay? Now, how do I know that something is compulsory for something? If I need both entities, this and this, for something to happen, okay, we will have either a linked attribute or associative entity. In this case, it's a linked attribute. What does the link attribute do is it says, oh, not this one, sorry, my bad. Right here, I'm just gonna say compulsory, which is Boolean. It's either yes or no, okay? And it doesn't have a name. Okay, so only by knowing my degree and only by knowing, let me put this here, only by knowing the program and only by knowing the module, that means only if this relation happens, yeah, if the college is providing that module, only then I would know if it's compulsory or not, isn't it? Otherwise, I would not know. Because this relation has to exist for me to decide if it's a compulsory thing or not. Okay?
Miss, can you explain this again?
So, can I put compulsory under degree? Can I
Like
put
the
compulsory
attribute?
module under degree?
No.
No, why? Because compulsory module is a module which is an entity, so I cannot convert it into an attribute, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. Now, can I put compulsory under module as a Boolean value that says this is compulsory or not, like 0 or 1? Can I put it here under module alone?
Yes.
But then I wouldn't, what I'm saying is this module is not compulsory for all the degrees, or this module is compulsory for all the degrees, right? If I put it here.
Yeah.
But that's not the case, no? Because it's compulsory for some of the degrees and elective for some other degrees. So if I put it here, I cannot capture that information, no?
Oh, okay. So
Since I
because it's
cannot
not,
capture this information in this entity, and I cannot capture it in this entity, and I can only capture it if these two are linked, then it becomes a linked attribute. Okay, that's why it's called a linked attribute. The link has to happen first, then the attribute happens. So it's a linked attribute, okay? I think that's it. Now there is something I want to come back to. So this is, if you draw this, you get maybe, oh, there is one more thing left, no? Where is that? What happened to our past performances, no? So a module has a past performance, isn't it? So where does the past performance go? How do I get the past performance? Because it says a past performance, if I go back to the explanation, it says, okay. Regarding the students, we are storing the past performance, isn't it? So we're storing the past performance for the student. Shall I put the past performance like this? So I would say there is something called past performance, which has exam result, yeah, and module first. Can I put module here? Can I put a module as an attribute?
no, it's defined as an entity.
Because it is an entity, I cannot put it here, right? So a student has past performance. If I put the relation like this, I do not know which module, for which module, no? Right?
Right.
So how would I know for which module this is happening? If and only if this
Choose.
link is happening, isn't it? If a
It would
student
be
chooses the
between choose.
module, yeah, exactly. Now you get the idea. So I put this one. This is bad designing works. Okay. We're not picky about that now. Okay. So I'm just gonna move this a little here. And this baby relation, we move it here. So this happens only and only if this happens. Okay. So you get the idea because you solved it yourself. So I know that you understood it now. Now, are we done? With this, you get 9 out of 10, maybe 9.5. Okay. Why? Because these two attributes, these two entities, do they have anything different? Aren't they both teachers? This is
They
a
are.
teacher with a special role. This is a teacher with a special role, no? Both of them are teaching stuff, no? But I'm not capturing that. I'm not saying that lecturer is a teaching staff and modular leader is a teaching staff. I'm eliminating this information, which is wrong. I'm eliminating this. I need to mention these are both teaching staff. How can I do that? Since we did it this way, we go for the is-a relation. Yeah, what is an is-a relation? We say these two belong to an attribute called teaching staff. Okay. So this is one type of a teaching staff. This is another type of a teaching staff. Okay. This is one teaching staff, some part of it, which is a module leader. Then there is another one called a lecturer. A better way to do this is like that. Okay, but I'm a little too lazy to do them right. Okay, it's like this. Okay, so this is how we do is A. So arrow is used for is A. For example, a postgraduate and an undergraduate, they are both students. So there is an is A. You would have postgrad, undergrad, and a student. Here we have module leader and a lecturer. They are both a teaching staff. Okay, but they have different roles. So I'm not going to mention this because it's going to take it from this guy. Okay, so that's one way to do it. Now let's fix this the way it looks. Looks better. Okay, this is
So
called
in the module leader and lecturer part, we don't have to mention the attributes again. Is
no,
that
because it takes it from this one.
But we could if we wanted to.
No, you shouldn't. With the ERD, you would just put an attribute that is different for this. So if it said module leader has experience, yeah, years of experience, then you put it here. Yeah, you put the attribute that is not shared only. You don't put the attribute that is shared. Yeah, if it say the lecturer, so this one, let's say, doesn't have anything unique, only the relation is unique. Okay, so the common attribute, you mention it in the parent table. The specific attribute, you mention it in the child, and then the specific relation. Okay, this is one way to do it. Now, is there a better way to do it? Yes. What is that? Since these two don't have any other attribute that is different than the parent attribute, another way to do this is this. Okay, this is the other way to do it. Since the only difference is the relation, I will not create a separate entity. I will just create different relations. That is saying, the teaching staff can teach or can coordinate. Yeah, so this part is one option. I think I can color it, including this one. And this one. Line. I don't know. How can I color the line? You know, whatever. Okay. Yeah, so this is one option. Okay, no? Okay, this is one option. This is a better option. Okay.
So second option, you have just one entity, but you're having two relationships with
Exactly.
the module. Okay.
Okay, so if the difference between the entities who share the same attribute is just the relation, don't create a different entity. Just put the relation. Okay, but if they have extra entities, if I had here, like I said, years of experience, then I could not go for the second option. If this was there, then I could not go for this option because otherwise I would lose the year of experience. Okay.
Miss, but in the second option, we don't know who's teach. We know like teaching staff is teaching and teaching staff is coordinating, but we don't know their exact name. Like it's the module leader or it's the lecturer.
It's captured in the relation. Yeah, you don't have to
So we
worry.
wouldn't need to mention it.
No.
Okay.
So we know that some teaching staff are coordinating, some teaching staff are lecturing. Yeah, that's okay. Okay. Or if you want, you could say leader. and lectures, if that makes lectures. And this one leads. What did I do? If the naming makes it easier. Okay, so the module leader leads, the other one lectures. Okay, so that's how you go about it basically. Now this particular thing capture everything. There is one thing I want to add, which is not in this diagram, which is a weak entity. Okay, what is a weak entity? A weak entity is an entity that depends on another entity. It's an explanation. It's like an attribute, okay? It's like an attribute, but has a lot of explanation. For example, if I want to say in this database, I want to keep track of okay, I want to keep track of a student, a school name, okay, and a student, a school grade, okay, yeah, and then I could, instead of having this like that, I know that the school name and a school grade belong to this student, but since they both are information about the school, I could move it out, okay? So what I would do is copy this here. Did I copy? And I will keep only this two element, okay, which is this. And I would call this a school history, okay? Because I know these two are on the same topic, okay? Then I remove it from here. Then how do I show that this was a set of attributes for this? Yeah, that means if I delete this student, this should get deleted with it. If I update this student, this should get updated with it, okay? The way to show that is by creating something called a weak entity. So a weak entity has a box like this. Let's call this school name. Okay. How can I make this upside down? Yeah, something like that, which is attached to this guy. Not you. Okay. And then there is a link without a name, which means this entity is further explanation of this entity. Okay, it's a further explanation of this entity. And if I don't have this student, delete that person as well. Okay. It's called a weak entity, and that's how you show it.
Can you show the Word document again?
Oh, yeah. Just hold a sec. Okay. Okay. I think we're done with the recording. Let's just stop that. So it gets loaded. Okay. Here. Which one was the one? Let's just share everything. I think I just shared this one by mistake. So that's the Word document. So if you look at everything here, you can see all those details are captured in our, let me share again, because I think I just shared. I just shared the Word document. Sure. So if you look at everything that we mentioned and captured here, It's been mentioned and captured here. Yeah?
Miss, can you also zoom out a bit?
Let me save this, then I'll send this to you later. Come on, Control S. Does it work here or it does work here? Go to Spain. One example. Wording. Okay. Yeah. Which part you want to look into?
No, I just wanted to look at the whole ERD.
Okay. Let me see how we can do that. I can remove this. Move things around a little bit. This up. Make this here. Make this here. And then this one up. Let's see. Not working. We still have this part missing in there. Can I show everything? Let me see if I can make it much smaller than this. Okay, I'm going to move this down. Move this down. Move this back to the relation. Move this down. I think maybe now we can get all of it. Yay! We did it. Okay. So it goes. But remember, the pink is the option, yeah? It's not, you don't repeat it again. Why am I a perfectionist? Okay, here we go. Okay,
Yeah, thank you.
you feel better, more confident? I'm gonna stop sharing. I'll save this. I saved it, but I'll save it again. I'll leave it. I saved it once already. Okay. I think I'll share the recording. That's fine. Okay, you have any questions or was it clear now? How you
No,
go?
it's clear now. Thank you.
Okay, so if you have questions, do please ask me during the session, yeah? Don't leave it for another 2 to 3 weeks. It's just for you, yeah? For me, it's okay. It's just that when it's fresher in your head, it's easier to grasp it. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Good luck.
Thank you. Could you
No
please
worries.
also send me the ERD?
I will, but you need to give me some time, okay? I will do it during the day. It's just that I need to finish a lot of things, okay? I
Okay,
will
sure.
send it to you. Don't worry. And this file as well. Where is the file? Did I save it? And the file, if I have it saved, I'll send them to you, okay?
Okay, thanks again, Miss.
No
Take care.
worries. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.